Good morning everybody, welcome to Be Divine Vintage. We've been working on the fairy book, Grungy Fairies, and this is where I'm up to with my journal. Here we go, I've got my signature ready, my papers are ready there, and I'm going to show you how to get yourself to this point. Any sewing, if you want any sewing on your papers, now is the time to do it. Before we start assembling everything together. Right, so I have got the book that we did yesterday. You can see through it a little bit, which is no massive deal. Some of it has turned green, which is good. There we go. So, and it's dried very flat as well, which is really good. So I have this scrapbook, which I got at the car boot sale on Sunday. Now, this book is almost 100 years old. So tearing it up at first I thought, oh, a bit guilty. But then I thought, well, if I didn't reuse it, it would end up as somebody's rubbish somewhere anyway, and probably in the bin. So I'm going to use that as a cover on here, and I'm actually going to do some bit of hand stitching down there. So what I thought we'd do first is just glue that on and then come back to the stitching. Now I stitched mine on. I did, where have I put it now? Here it is. I did 2 seams down and it turned out really raggedy actually, which I do like. But not everybody has a sewing machine. So let's just glue this on. Let's go wild and glue it on. So I folded down the spine. I'm not being technical. This is a grungy book. So we do not have to be, or do we want to be, perfect. My mum would be passing out at this point now because her work all has to be perfect. Just popping that on there. These are still open. I'll not fasten them down yet because I might want to put something else in there. I don't know. So let's just put that to dry on one side. So we need to get our papers ready. I've got a selection here. So I've literally got some vintage papers. This is some papers from the 30s. It's like fine tissue. I got out of the Victorian photograph album that I bought the other day. Some of the brown paper from that scrapbook that's on the front cover. So what I decided is I do actually want a little bit of writing space in here. So if you're going to use a ledger paper as the writing paper, I've literally glued pages together out of the book. This book. Oh, where do I put it? This book. This fairy book, original fairy book. I glued some of the pages together, which is really easy to do. Let me see. Where is a book? So I literally tore off, say 4, 5, 6. Tore it down the spine like this. And then I just put that to one side. Let's show you what I did. Starting at the back, I literally got my big chunky brush there, my Mod Podge. Puffing and panting trying to open that. And I literally just put the Mod Podge on the page. I have prepared some of these because I didn't want us to be sitting waiting for glue to dry, because really it takes overnight. It'd be a long video, wouldn't it? So just keep turning them over. It's easy to start from the back. Some of these pictures are so lovely. I love these little pixies. Floppity Castle and the Goblin Cave. Oh, they're not pixies, they're goblins. Oh, I always wanted when I was a little girl to, well, still do. I'd love to come up on a goblin cave or a fairy cave. Right, so that is what I did. And that joins all of those together. And at this point too, it doesn't really matter. I got my coffee and I literally just painted over it. Oh, love the grunge, love the smell. And, whoop, my knee went then. I literally just painted over that and then put that on a towel, or I use kitchen roll just to dry. So that is literally what I did. So I also took my pages. So see what I mean about this coffee? It doesn't really matter that that is on there. Oh, and my Victorian journal, I found this. How fab is this? Not the Victorian journal, the Victorian photograph album. I found this little calling card for Bridget Fash, I think it is. Or is it like a birth announcement? Because it's only actually, oh, there we go, shows her as a little girl. But how lovely is that? I don't know if it announces a birth, I don't know. Oh no, it's too old for a birthday, but it is a little girl. Is it a little girl's calling card? I don't know. But whatever it is very, very pretty. So, the papers for my book, let's have a look. Every paper, so even these, I coated in coffee. So everything was coated in coffee. So my book measurements are going to be based on this page size, because I don't want them any taller and I don't really want them any deeper. So off I went. I know. Tearing. Let's take that off there. Tearing. Tear across the top. Tear down the side. I'm going to do them individually because I don't want them all to be the same. I'm going to put them together. So there, here. So I'm not going to give you any measurements because all this depends on the size of your book. So that's those. I've got the ones glued together, which I've already done a light coffee stain on that. Here we are, these are glued together and I've done a light coffee stain on that. Just let me stick that. Yeah, I prepared some yesterday. So that's got a light coffee stain. There we go. So this one is my from the vintage album. So that's got a light coffee stain. So I've already prepared those to be the same size as the Book of Fairies, which is the book that we're using. This is coffee stained. There's 3 of those. This was from my scrapbook. This is amazing. This is a different scrapbook. It was a homemade scrapbook, but all out of this immensely thick brown paper. So I'm literally not doing any cutting. I worked it out that when I tore those in half, they just sort of happened to fit exactly where I want them to fit height-wise. So for these, I got 2 together like that. And then what I've done is I've torn off down the edges. Tear that one. Oh, I like how the bit of newspaper stayed out on that actually. Just tear a little bit off that one. Which I should tear away from me, shouldn't I? That one. And down these. There we go. So what I did with this one, because you see how we're going to bind it as we go along. We're not stitching these in. So what I did with this one, I glued these 2 pages together. Just going to tear a little bit of that newspaper off there. Save your scraps. So actually, glued those 2 pages together there. Could actually just use paper glue, but for speed of sticking, I'll just use my fabric tack. There we go. So we'll just pop that on there. So that gives us another page for our book that's like that. So putting all these together was going to be, I've not got them in the right order yet, but that thick. So just a little bit smaller than at the spine. So how did I do these papers? Well, like I say, I coffee stained them. So I literally got the coffee, painted on. Oh, let's just move these straps. Put them to one side. So can you see, because I've got a messy table, I'm just sort of soaking up the mess. And this is literally all I did on every page that's going into the book. And you can still see now the book coming together, which is wonderful. So put that on something to dry. Right, I'm just going to soak this up. And then we'll continue with it, grunging up the pages. It's everywhere. Everywhere is coffee. There we go. Let's just do my brush on there. Clean off my brush on there. Put that into the water. Right, so you need to do that with all your pieces of paper. So off screen, I will do these. So I will show you now how I grunged up my papers. So I got my Distress Oxides, anything that looks sort of grungy colour. So I have got black soot, and I'd literally just go over. Black soot. Here's some ground espresso. You see the grunge coming through. These are old as well, so they're a little bit dry. I wouldn't put your brand new ones on there because there'd be too much ink. Oops, sorry. A little bit of rusty hinge. This is the messy bit. Going for manicure this afternoon. Well, my nails done, pedicure, whatever else, facial. So I'm just going over now with some vintage photo. There we go. But I also have, in fact, no, let's do the next one and I'll show you what else I've got. So here's my, what's it called? This is a Victorian, from my Victorian photograph album I bought on Saturday. So just tidy some bits up that might be coming apart. I know I want grunge, but I don't want my book to fall apart. It's my son just bringing me a coffee. Right, there we go. So let's grunge this one. where I found that little card in there. There's loads of cabinet cards, but just small ones in here. I need to sort through them all yet. Whoop. Let's glue that down. Let's put some aged mahogany. That's quite a nice look as well. And you get the pinkiness in it for the fairies. And gotta be black soot. I love where it just catches, because that really, as things age, that's where the age marks do sort of appear. Right, so those are two of them. Look at this. Woohoo. So I got a little tube of my husband puts all the pipes. I've got loads of other sort of mark making, but this is just to hand. So I just put some black paint on that, and then let's just stamp. Love it. So that is how I do all my pages. I don't put the black on every single page. That's used up. So that is how I do each and every page. And then I want this to be at the front of the book. And I'm going to want that to be at the front of the book as well. And, oh, that's got a gold edge on it. That's lovely. Great stuff. Right, so that is how I do the pages. So you need to do all your pages ready to fit into your book. So here's the book. Here's most of the pages except two. They will just fit inside there wonderfully. And if they pop out a bit, does it really, really matter? So that is how we're going to put those together. Now then, the seam, let's do some stitching down here. So I've just got some of this crochet yarn. There we go, that's it. I got this at the charity shop. I've doubled it. I'm running my grungy fingers down it, made it a little bit more grungy. So you can either knot it or whatever you want. Whatever you want to do. So I'm literally going to go down there, poke some holes through with my pokey tool like that. Get my needle and I'm just going to go in. My on screen, yep, and out. Oh, I've not even come out of the right hole, but never mind. Don't know I did that because I thought I'd gone in. Thought I'd gone in at the hole. I've come out somewhere else. Never mind. Keep a length out there. Through that one. Down. So these are just random holes. Just random. Let's just be random. I like these large needles. And just go wherever you want to go. I'm going to come out here. Up. And I'm going to go across to there. Then I'm going to come out at the same top one there. Just going to cut this. And I'm just going to tie that off. So we've glued that on and just done a little bit of hand stitching on there as well. going to tie that. I was at my sewing group last night and we did like 3 different crafts. I've got some amazing things to show you that we can do. Let's just run some bit of grunge on that, because that bit's a bit too bright. There we go. Fab. So that is how you put that bit on there. Like I say, I've not glued that yet because I'll think about it. I might add something else, I don't know yet. There we go, there we go, and there we go. So tomorrow I will show you how we're going to fix these into there, and then we will have the bones of our book. So at this point, any machine stitching needs to be done, because once they're in, you'll not, well, unless you're very, very clever than me, you'll not be able to sew into them. So thank you for watching. This is Sharon at Be Divine Vintage. I'm really enjoying making this book with you. If you're enjoying my videos too, please subscribe, and I'll see you again soon. Bye bye.